Hi and welcome. Here we have an Fortran power supply. There's an issue with this supply that when you plug it on AC, you have a little sound like buzzing, and when you try to turn on the PC, you just press the power button and nothing's happening. I tried the computer with the other power supply, with the new power supply, and the computer started first. So we conclude that the power supply is the problem. So I opened the power supply, and as you can see, let me show you from closer. There is a couple blown capacitors just by looking. Here is one. There is one, two. There is a shield on this. I don't know if you can see it. So there is one, two. Let me show you from this side. 3, 4, 4 maybe when we. So there are 4 blown capacitors. Only on looking. Oh no, here it is. One more. 5 capacitors. Only by looking. But we're gonna test all the capacitors with ESR meter. So just to be sure that all the left are fine. So as looking on the other components, I don't see any blown components. Looking from the bottom, everything's look fine. So probably by replacing all these blown capacitors, the power supply will start. But we're gonna test all the capacitors with our ECR meter just to be sure that will last, that this service will last longer. So after replacing the capacitors, we're gonna make another video and we show you what happened. Okay, here we go again. So we replaced all the blown capacitors. As you can see, there are new capacitors. This one here, these two, into this side. So after before assembling, we need to lubricate a little bit cooling fan. So the procedure goes like this: you remove the sticker, not completely, just gonna be added a little bit of oil down there, and after that I'm doing this procedure, pushing the fan up and down so it can oil come better absorbed. So after that we're gonna mount the cover, and I'm gonna apply the sticker, and this is it. So we're now gonna assemble the power supply, and I'm gonna test it after that. So procedure goes like this. It's a little bit tricky. There is a we need to be very careful to place the board on the correct holes on the bolts. So here we have all the bolts. There are 3 bolts that hold the board. One goes here, one goes here, and the third one was a little bit hidden. To see where exactly was that. There's something somehow over here on this side. Oops. Need to check with the bottom. Here it is. Here it is. There should be right here. There you go. And we're gonna try with smaller screwdriver. Yes, this will do the job. Now we can tighten all up. So next we must twist the metal a little bit so we can remove the wires. So now we're gonna do the opposite procedure. We're gonna place the wires inside the hole, and now we need to straighten the metal. So I'm gonna use this tool. There we go. Just some minor tweaks. There we go. We're gonna use this. This is it. Now there are only 2 bolts that hold the aluminum. This is not the case with the most power supplies. Most power supplies usually don't have these 2 bolts. They have 4 bolts on the angles of the board. So this is not common for the most power supplies. So let me see if this is the correct way. The holes are matching, so there are also 4 bolts that goes here. Just to mention here, you should be aware not to fail inside some of the bolts or these cutted extensions on the capacitors from the new capacitors that are being cut after the soldering. There is a high voltage inside, so you can easily make situation that is dangerous. So now we need a power supply tester. We're gonna connect the power supply tester on this. These are the 6 pin, and this didn't have 8 pins or only 4 pins. So this is enough for tests. So I usually do this. I turn off the switch, and plug in the power supply, and after that I see here that 3.3 volts have some problem. It's not okay. Let me try to 3.3 volts is using on the SATA connector. Let me try to plug there we go. We need to measure that. So 3.3 volts is the orange wire, so where it's I'm gonna try. So I need to measure the voltage between the black and the orange wire. So we're gonna need two wires. Let me find that first. We plug the voltage meter. So we're gonna turn on the power supply. So instead 3.3 volts we have 3.545 volts. So probably should be fine. So the power supply tester is showing that something is wrong, but we're gonna mount the power supply on the PC and we're gonna try it. I think it will work fine. So here's the power supply mounted on the PC. Turn on the PC, the power supply. There we go. It's starting right up. It's powering up, so everything's fine. Thanks for watching. I hope this will help you fix your power supply.